Hello guys, this is Pixie Bixie, logging on to talk about a little game called Drawn to Life. Drawn to Life is one of the few games that have permanently altered my game chemistry for the better. So you might not have heard of it if you're under the age of 20, but Drawn to Life is a 2007 DS game where you draw your own characters and other objects to help you pass your platforming levels. It has immersive music, silly characters, and world building I find to be unique and comfy. The game was directed by Jeremiah Schlaska, who was the co-founder of the studio Fifth Cell and was the creator of the Scribblenauts series. They apparently worked on another game called Lock's Quest, but as of this video I haven't played it. Maybe next time. Hopefully. It was released in Japan in 2008 under this cool ass name,
Drawn to Life, God's Marionette.
So, let's start with the game's story, since it's pretty cut and dry and simple to digest. I say knowing that according to other sites, this game takes about 13 hours to complete. It starts off pretty ominous, I'm not gonna lie. The background is black, there's a compressed ambient wind sound, and an old book is opening. It tells the story of the Raposa and the artifact of their creator, the Book of Life. The creator, used the book to create their world, from the forest to the seas to the Raposas themselves. But then, everything changed when the Fire Nation, I mean the darkness, and its creatures attacked, causing the fall TM. After the introduction, the screen goes dark, and a voice is pleading for the creator to answer as the eternal flame, their beacon of hope, just went out, and all of the villagers are leaving. All I have to say is, man, they should have probably changed the name of that thing. Eternal fucking light my ass. we find out that the voice is from a young Raposa named Mari. She's frustrated that the creator has been silent the whole time. The villagers are leaving. Just when she's about to give up, you're given a prompt to respond either to help her or not. Refusing just sends you back to the title screen, which is funny because I was really expecting the Illusion of Choice to show his ugly ass face and be like, "Are you sure, creator? You're sure you're not gonna help us?" And then you change your mind. But you know, saying no just straight up just kills the game. Fastest speed run of all time, honestly. But selecting yes, you tell Mari to gather the villagers at the creation hall where the creator holds his creations. Hearing this causes Mari to cheer. She goes to find her best friend Joey and her father to tell them the good news. The good news of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Mari makes it to Joey's house, but he's not answering the door, so she asks the player to knock on it 3 times to wake him up. Shaking Joey's house with the power of God 3 times, Joey finally opens the door to Mari talking like a Bible Belt Christian, exclaiming the creator spoke to her. She then asks where her dad is, Joey saying that he's at the village gate trying to stop another villager, Isaac, and his family from leaving. Joey decides to go along with Mari's plan as they head to the village gate to get her father. The two make it to Mari's dad at the village gate, where the villager Isaac is yelling at her dad, the mayor, about how losing the eternal flame was the last straw. His daughter went missing and his home is now covered in darkness, so they've been essentially evicted from their home by the unknowable darkness because they couldn't pay the rent. The mayor pleads with them a little longer so that they can all leave together, but Isaac is not hearing any of it and leaves with his wife. Mari and Joey make it to the mayor, and Mari tells him that the player spoke to them. By the way, I will be using the creator, the player, and Felix interchangeably for the sake of my own convenience for this video. Just letting you know. The mayor, who has probably heard this shtick for months now, tells her to give it a rest, lamenting that the creator hasn't spoken to anyone in years. Mari tries to convince her dad to listen to her, with Joey backing her up, but the mayor quickly gets upset and leaves, calling it nonsense. Mari, frustrated, vents at Joey, who tells her maybe she should let all this creator nonsense go, gets offended and decides to go to the creation hall herself, telling Joey this is why the creator abandoned them. Joey, quickly changing his mind, runs after Mari. Making it to the creation hall, the two realize the door is sealed, and so they ask the player to open it. When he does, the two make it inside, and the creator speaks to both of them and tells them to walk over to the dusty mannequin. As the two walk over to it, the creator states that the mayor is in trouble and Joey is startled that he can hear the creator. The creator says this low-key badass line is really cool.
I will fill this mannequin with my presence. I will add color to its frame and movement to its joints. Together, we will restore the village.
And then the character creator opens up. Behold, my creation. Felix! Or that is his name. Felix, say hi. The two Raposa wait hours for the perfect being to be created, and the first thing Felix does is a little jig. So in character. I love him. Of course, the Raposa are amazed by Felix's gift of the gab, and he immediately just runs out the building with the Raposa following behind. When they get outside, they hear a little girl calling for her mama. Mari recognizes the voice to be Sydney, Isaac's missing daughter. Felix, with his mere presence, scared the little girl to run towards Mari, and the group heads to the village gate where the bridge is covered in darkness, and a dark figure walks out the shadows. This is when one of my favorite tracks play, the main villain's theme. A lot of music has a story, bedtime vibe to it that I really like, and the sound fonts are so distinct and really high quality, I use them in my own stuff. Anyways, the Shadow Man exclaims that the mayor is done for and to give up. Mari tells him to fuck off, but Joey doesn't know who he is. I love how the villain Loki is offended by this, saying, "No one has told you a creepy bedtime story about me? Pity." I just find that really funny. Really shows off a little bit of his character. He then goes on to begrudgingly introduce himself as Wilfrey. Wilfrey taunts the group, telling them he ripped all of the pages out of the Book of Life and scattered them across the world. He leaves, covering the bridge in darkness so that they can't rescue the mayor. At this point, the Raposa think when Joey comes up with the idea to go to the Snow Gate, which is to the northwest of the village. Felix spends a few minutes burning some calories and makes it to the gate. The Raposa ask Felix to go in by himself since they think the area is dangerous. This starts the tutorial level, Snowy Fields. I mentioned before that the gameplay is a 2D platformer, so you have all your usual controls, jumping, slope sliding, ground pound, but you also have a push button to like push enemies away. It doesn't do damage to enemies, it really just pushes them away. I guess you're supposed to use this when you're out of ammo later on in the next level, but other than that, that's all the controls. So, when you take damage, parts of your drawing fall off, revealing the mannequin under it. The whole drawing is gone, and you get hit again, you die. The enemies change throughout the levels, but there's one consistent enemy called the Baki. This little bear-looking guy with a scarf. Really silly, really cute. Wish I had a plush for it. I don't know why they're trying to hurt me. Really makes me sad. I want to bring up a funny fact that there's just like this one Baki that just hides behind a rock and tries to jump you. It's really funny, and it only happens in like 3 levels in the whole game. Anyways, there's 4 levels per world with a boss at the end of each level, and it's broken up into sections. To complete a level, you must collect 4 pieces of a page and save 3 villagers. If you don't, the section of the level you're currently in will be blocked up by darkness until you fulfill the prerequisite. Throughout the level, you'll find areas covered in black ink. You use the touchpad to wipe the ink off the screen, and this is where the unique darkness theme enemies spawn from, like the Shadow Man who rise from the ink you're supposed to wipe. And the annoying as fuck bats that make an annoying squeaky ass sound each flap. Then there's a weird ink volcano thing that spews out more black ink, and occasionally a buff floating shadow that looks like a genie that pushes you to inflict damage. But no, for real, fuck that bat, I hate bats. Oh my god, AVGN was right. Can't stand them. Sometimes you'll be in a level and see a house with a green door with an arrow sign on it. These are homes you can enter to get more coins, health, or unlockables. In each level, there will be points where you have to draw objects to help you get through a level, from a floating cloud to a bouncy spring to weird stuff like crazy tiki heads that jump really high and can hurt you if you're not careful. Submarines. There's also vehicles or events that happen at the end of each level, from a sled to a submarine, like I said before, a rocket ship to a surfboard. I really enjoy the diversity in a lot of these levels. It gives you something to look forward to at the end of it. So, after you save the mayor, he realizes the error of his ways and helps you locate and collect the pages for the rest of the game. When Felix and the mayor exit the gate, they are met by Mari, Joey, and Sydney, who are relieved that they're alright. But while the pleasantries are happening, the mayor talks about how he couldn't catch up to Isaac and his wife. Cindy, hearing this, gets worried about her parents and goes through the gate herself, and the rest of the group notice way too late. Before Felix goes after her, the mayor asks the player to make a snow shooter for Felix to defend himself. He then gives chase into Mount Snowy. After a fiery pit of snowball action, Felix returns with Sydney, Isaac, and his wife, and everyone is relieved. Afterwards, the mayor talks to Isaac about Wilfrey, and this is where we finally get more information on the guy. Basically, Wilfrey was a normal, respected member of the village, the most popular guy, but he wanted to know why Raposa couldn't make creations in the Book of Life. Wilfrey later lamented this to the mayor, who told him to stop being a hubris asshole and to let it go. But later that night, Wilfrey snuck into the creation hall and took the Book of Life and started trying to make his own creations, which were all inky and monstrous. You could tell he was an AI artist. The mayor caught on to Wilfrey's schemes and tried to apprehend him. Wilfrey fled the scene, tearing all the pages out of the Book of Life and scattering them to the wind before the mayor took the book back. The creator grieved over the loss, sealing off the creation hall from the Raposa, leaving everyone to fend for themselves. Not long after, the sun grew dim, the moon and stars faded away, and then finally the eternal flame went out. That's when the darkness crept in, slowly swallowing the village. Okay, now I know you're all wondering after hearing all this, this kind of sounds like the Bible. That Wilfrey fellow kind of sounds like Lucifer. And isn't the Book of Life from the Bible? You'd be right. And don't worry, the second game will really cement this in a weird, wild-ass way. But we'll get to that when I review Drawn to Life, the second chapter, soon. But yeah, very crazy, really funny, really interesting parallel. A lot of people talk about it. Anywho, after the mayor relays the story to the group, he realizes they need to recover all the pages to restore the village. Joey says they can't do anything because the pedestal for the Eternal Flame page is missing. The mayor goes into his home, brings out the Book of Life, and puts the missing page back into it. I assume this was the page that Felix had after he rescued the mayor. After restoring the pedestal, you can choose the color of the flame, and the not-so-eternal flame returns. Tapping on the flame helps remove the darkness from Isaac's shop. After clearing Isaac's shop, Felix walks into Mari, who wonders what happens if you were to throw 10,000 Rapo coins into the well. I will bring this up later at the end of the video. But also, doing so, random times will give you random things like level ups and extra lives. After seeing that his method works, the mayor tasks Felix with getting all the pages back to help him restore the village. As Felix heads through the snow gate, Joey stops him asking if he can join him on his next adventure. Felix, being the Chad that he is, ignores Joey and heads to the snow caves to look for the sun page. And one of my favorite levels for the music and submarine alone start. Like, dude, listen to this song. Anyways, Felix returns with Farmer Brown and his family, and the Sun page in hand, and the mayor places it back into the great big book of everything. For the record, this basically happens after you complete a level, every time. You talk to one of the villagers, bring the rescue villagers to the mayor puts the missing page back into the book, you draw the item, and tap on the Eternal Flame to restore a villager's home, or just unlock a part of the village. It gets repetitive, but it's necessary for progression. Felix is then sent to Banya Fields to find the Banya page, which is Arapis' favorite food ingredient in all of their meals. Felix returns with a chef named Cookie, whose French accent apparently exists in this fantasy world or something. Guess the French are real. After talking to the mayor and adding the new page to the book, you get to draw the Banya stock for Farmer Brown to use. After that, you help clear the darkness from Cookie's restaurant and make a new sign for him. You'll also notice that the snow is starting to melt around the village, and there's a little cutscene where Joey tries to smack Farmer Brown's son with a snowball, but it misses, hitting Mari instead, who chases Joey to the mayor. He comes up with this stupid idea to have Felix take on all of the villagers in a snowball fight. Yes, the entire village versus one guy. Did I mention it's kind of bullshit? Because a lot of the villagers will attack you from blind spots, and remember, you're playing this on a DS, so the screen is not that big, and they are still hitting you outside the boundaries of the screen. It's really annoying. They don't use sync controls, you obviously, because they're not people. You, the player, have to use the A, X, B, and Y button. Each button direction correlates to where you throw the snowball, since there are no sprites or animations for facing up and down, just left and right. Anywho, after the snowball fight, Joey tries to steal some Banya crop, but realizes it's too hard because there's been no rain, so the mayor has Felix go to the icy lake to retrieve it. You return with the rain page and a fat Rapiza named Tubba, and 2 old Rapiza. The mayor puts the rain page back in the book, and you get to draw a rain cloud and choose the color of the rain. I tried real hard not to be a silly Billy, but I just went with the yellow due to the prospect of piss rain. It's raining piss! While the villagers enjoy the piss rain, the mayor pulls Mari aside into the creation hall with Felix to inform her that she will be beginning her training on being the next mayor, and that they'll have a festival later to celebrate. Mari, worried, asks if the mayor is feeling okay, but he assures her he's fine. She goes looking for Joey when Wilfrey appears, demanding for the Book of Life. Mari refuses, so Wilfrey unleashes the first boss of the game, a dragon named Frostwind. So, I'm going to take this moment to talk about Frostwind. I really like the title card that you see before you enter the world. Looks really ominous and just looks really cool. Also, I just love how goofy this cutscene is. Like, Felix hears a roar that just cuts off the cheery music from before. He walks up to the pit, leans over to look, and then gets surprised when a monster comes out. Like, you know this game isn't taking itself seriously. So, all the bosses in this game have 2 phases. For Frostwind's first phase, he's basically in an auto-scroller where he's chasing your character and trying to bite him. You shoot a snowball to push him back, and you keep running till you get to the exit. Now, for the second phase, Felix fights the dragon with the combinations of snowballs and the gyat of an ass he has, saving a weird-looking Raposa girl named Heather in the process. Yeah, I know, her appearance will be relevant in the next game, I promise. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. Anywho, walking out of the World 1 gate, you notice the snow in the village has completely melted, and the place has become a lot livelier. After explaining what happened with Frostwind to the mayor, Heather is introduced to the villagers, and she takes a liking to Joey. This will also be relevant in the second game. The mayor decides that Joey should take care of her. Afterwards, you use the Eternal Flame to clear out the east side of the village to get to the World 2 gate, the Twilight Woods. At this point, guys, I'm going to start speeding up my exposition, because if you've been playing along in the game, you'll notice that the progression is very repetitive, like I said before, but also sometimes a little stilted. I don't really think it's bad playing as a kid, but yeah, as an adult you will notice this stuff a lot. But hey, that's what emulators are for. Like, you'll notice in some of the footage, I've been speeding up the game to save time, because I hate to say it, the player speed in the village is it's really noticeable, and even in like the action parts of the game, I do kind of wish there was something akin to a run button like New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, because I believe that came out first. On the note on the mayor knowing where the pages are, I akin that to the Book of Life being able to, you know, tell you where things are, which would make the most sense because it is the creator's tool for creation in a sense. Anywho, you're about to go to the first level of World 2, but you notice Joey talking to Heather about getting Mari a present for her mayor ceremony. He uses the opportunity to hit two birds with one stone and goes on an adventure to get the present himself. You go and tell Mari that Joey ran into the World Gate, and everyone panics, so you go after him. Before you go, the mayor draws wings for you because the trees are so high in the forest. And Isaac helps upgrade your snowshooter with acorns. Anyways, you get the supplies and then you head out to help Joey. You blast some acorns and save some Rapiza and get some pages. You come back with Joey and the missing page for the nice guy because the villagers were complaining about trying to sleep. One of the Rapiza you save is actually a thief, as he steals from Cookie, Farmer Brown, and Joey, causing the villagers to complain once again and make you go look for the moon page so they can look around at night. This leads to one of my favorite levels in the game when I was a kid, Moon Grove, mostly because of the music and space. So, you have to draw a rocket and you use the Eternal Flame to power it. As a kid, I thought you were going to the moon to get the moon page due to the name of the level, but obviously that wouldn't make sense since you're looking for the moon page. You know, because the moon's gone. So what you're actually going to is an asteroid. While there, you save a cop and his deputies who help look for the stolen items and when you get back to the village. Side note, for people who are playing along, at the beginning of the level, the first page is hidden in a very awkward spot above you at the starting point. Just letting you know. Well, you return with the cop and you have the moon page. You fill it in and then you help Cricket with his investigation, where you pursue Zasha in 3 different locations until you tell him that his arch nemesis Cricket is pursuing him, and he returns the items. I guess fuck Joey, I guess. I find it funny the things that Zasha stole were Cookie's cutlery and Farmer Brown's seeds, but did not rob Isaac, who has a whole ass store, and thought, I'm gonna rob this kid who has a flower. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense why he would think it's valuable because the creator drew it, but you know, like, the mayor makes you go to the next level to get the parts needed to fix the town clock, because this will add transitions from day to night based on, if I remember correctly, the clock on your DS. This leads you into the level Gearworks, where as a kid I hated this level because I used to get lost very easily. Playing it now, I understand why. Similar to the level I mentioned above, what was it, the Icy Winds, the pages are not in a linear fashion. They are somewhat scattered, and that causes confusion because the stage is a lot bigger. But hey, you can ride a handbasket. You save a Rapiza that looks like Elvis Presley, and he decides to help with the music for the upcoming festival. After returning, you repair the clock face and get ready for the festival. Gathering the villagers, the singer, the person you saved, Navy J, I believe is how you pronounce it, does a silly rap with Felix breakdancing, and the player has prompts. Really silly, I think it's cute. Anyways, after the performance, the mayor ushers Mari up to the stage for her speech, but she gets nervous and leaves, with you and Joey chasing after her. Joey catches up to her, and the thief Zasha returns the flower Joey got from Twilight Woods, because the present he got as a standby, he didn't think was that good. Good for him. She gets back upstage and completes her speech, and the festival arc ends. Later, the mayor asks you to draw the hands for the clock so that you can transition from day to night. In the morning, the mayor asks Felix to go to Star Forest to find the observatory page so villagers can look at the sky. You return with Galileo and his family and help restore the observatory. Afterwards, the mayor asks you to go check on Mari. And where you find Mari trying to stop a fight between Isaac and Cookie, the two of them ignore Mari's suggestions, leaving Mari to worry that no one will listen to her when she becomes mayor. But then, Wilfrey shows up and starts taunting Mari on how she's right, that she'd be a terrible mayor. He then proceeds to summon the next boss, Deadwood. Ugh, God, when I was a kid, this boss was the hardest one for me. Mostly because of all of the fucking bats! The fucking bats! Fuck the bats! They're back! The bats are back! Fuck the bats! Like, okay, 1 or 2 bats are one thing, but I'm being attacked by like 4, 5, and 6 at a time. And then the fucking noise they make again. Oh, it's the same as like the ghosts and goblins on NES. And then after dealing with all those bats, you die. You have to watch the same cutscene again. You can't skip it. Ugh. So, just like Frostwind, Deadwood has 2 phases. The first phase, you have to destroy these weird fucking acorns with, you know, your explosive acorns. Acorn on acorn crime. There's 4 of them, and you have to hit each one 3 times to destroy it. Problem is every time you destroy one, you fall through the platforms because the boss moans in agony. So you can't just, you know, beat 1, beat 2, you know, just beat them all in the same instance. You have to wait. I know they did this to make the fight feel a little longer, but it's very annoying. And even if you don't do damage, the boss will just randomly like growl, which also shakes the screen and causes you to fall through platforms anyways. But then after you finally deal with that, the second phase, you go inside the tree to see it's being controlled by a big buff Shadow Man. I am confused at this dialogue because sometimes I still can't tell if that's the Shadow Man talking and the Shadow Man is Deadwood, or the tree is actually alive and its name is Deadwood. I don't know. I'm stupid. But to beat the boss, you just have to shoot him with acorns 3 times, and this phase is way easier than the first one because, you know, every time you hit him, he does it. There's not immune frames and shit like that. He has shadow tentacles on each side of the screen you can destroy temporarily with the acorns to get better shots on the boss. After beating Deadwood, you save a villager named Samuel. He's a very stoic and mysterious character, but nothing ominous. You clear the shadow blocking the northwest part of the village where you discover a beach. Samuel is near the World 3 gate and hands you a page from the Book of Life for diving gear. You can take it to the mayor and you draw the equipment and he tells you to go look for beach supplies. Yeah, I have to say at this point, where some of the requests become very pointless. Stops being about restoring practical things like the moon, the stars and stuff, to, hey, could you find a page so we can make a statue? Or, can we, hey, there's a pirate ship. Maybe we should make a lighthouse so we can see what's on it. Why would you want a pirate ship invading? Weird shit. Anyways, you can go back to the gate and Mari gives you another page, this time for your new weapon, the Starzuka, aka the best weapon in the game. Homing attacks, really cool, like the sound it makes. And afterwards you head to the next level, Surf Beach. It's a beach level, nothing serious. You can jump in water, you can try your new scuba gear, and fuck around with the Starzuka. Literally a bland level. Love the music though, really good. Surfboarding yourself out of the level, you come back out with a Raposa named Crazy Barks. His quirk is that he likes to talk in one big word. Really weird. For a dyslexic person like myself, it's hell reading. I hate it. But he's still silly. And he becomes a pivotal character in the second game. You restore the beach supplies and Mari discovers a secret beach. You and the mayor head over and the two Raposa talk about a missing tree called a Kori tree. And doing this, of course, they task you to go find in the next level, the Kori jungle. That's what you do. I like the aesthetic of this level, with the ancient Mayan style ruins, with the floating tiki heads that you can draw. It pairs really well with the halfway point where it kind of gets like these shadow, it's a shadow enemy segment. It's really nice. I actually like the vibe of it really much. You come back with the page and Tubba's brother, Bubba. You do your usual talk to the mayor and then find out what to do next, and are pointed towards the direction of the next level, Angle Isle. Angle Isle. Is that a fucking Sonic? This was probably my least favorite level as a kid, because it does the same thing as the Gearworks level back in World 2, where the pages and villagers are out of order, so you waste more time backtracking. And then you do all of this crap. I remember doing all this crap as a kid, just for a fucking statue. Anyways, you return with an adventurer named Indy, like Indiana Jones, and talk to the mayor to clear more darkness. You find a pirate ship and an unfinished lighthouse. Wow. The mayor asks you to go back to the gate to Conch Ruins to find the lighthouse page to get the ship back to the dock. This level, similar to the first level, Surf Beach, has half the level on land and the rest underwater. I will now take this time to talk about the fact that World 3 has a quirk where when you submerge underwater, the music changes. Granted, the music that plays is one of my favorite tracks, but then it's interrupted every time you come out of the water with this high energy music. I low-key kind of just wish they either just made an all underwater level or made it so that the water underwater is the same as the one above but without percussion. I think that'd be a cool smooth transition. But you ride back out of the level on huge fish with pirates led by Pirate Beard. They wanted to name him Blackbeard so bad, I can tell. And then go to the mayor to restore the lighthouse to move the pirates into the ship. As the pirates settle on the ship, Pirate Beard notices the water start to darken and immediately recognizes it as the Angler King. He tells Felix to quickly make his way to the World 3 gate, where Wilfrey is there waiting for him. He does his usual taunting, but this time towards the player, as Felix ignores him and walks into the World Gate with Wilfrey following after him. So, Phase 1 is an underwater auto-scroller, similar to how in Phase 1 it was an auto-scroller with Frostwind chasing after you. But, thanks to the Starzuka's homing ability, this is the easiest boss in the game. The Angler King is constantly chasing you, and you simply shoot your Starzuka shots forward, and they will easily home back in to hurt him. And pushing him back so he doesn't hurt you. That's it. You do this until you get to the end of the side-scroller, and that leads into the second phase, which puts you in an underwater arena where the Angler King will rush at you depending on your position, and that's literally it. He just rushes you. You see a water current where he's going to hit you. You just drop, and he zooms past you, and while he does that, you shoot him with the Starzuka. You have to aim at his head, which isn't too hard because, like I said, the starfish home in on him. So, you slay the beast and save a weird vampire Raposa named Count Choco. It is unclear if he's an actual vampire or what us early 2000s kids call a vamp kid. After bringing him to the village, he goes to Isaac to trade for a bootleg tomato juice, Tovato juice, and hands him a page for the Book of Life. Turns out it's a type of berry called a Caroin bush that can make the consumer grow big. Felix will be using this in the final world, Rapo City. You meet up with the mayor and he tells you to clear the darkness at the northeastern path. While exploring the newly accessible area, you discover Wilfrey talking to himself next to an uncolored world gate. You show the gate to the mayor as he tells Felix that he needs the secret door page to enter. Side note, why is there a page for that? Did the creator make it? Did Wilfrey make it? I thought he couldn't make stuff in the Great Big Book of Everything. Really odd. Also, another quick side note, the uncolored things, that aesthetic will be brought up again in the second game. Anyways, the mayor tells you the secret door page is probably in Rapo City, so that is where you go. So, after kaijuing your way through the city, you save the Rapos. Is that a human? What the fuck? You save the other villagers and the human, find the missing pages, and crash land a Zeppelin into the exit. Mari meets you at the gate and is confused by the human, who goes by Mike, and once again ushers you to see the mayor. Once again, side note, the existence of Mike being a human will, once again, make a lot of sense in the next game. So, yeah. You return to the mayor, restore the secret door, and he tells you to find Mari, so that she can organize a village meeting. Heading over to the main beach, we see Joey talking with Pirate Beard about going on an adventure. Apparently, Mari forgot about organizing the meeting and rushes away while trying to talk to Joey. He asks you to go help her out, and you meet Mari and the mayor at the town hall, where she's getting scolded about responsibilities. Mari complains like a child and runs off, telling her dad to find someone else to be mayor, and he laments, hoping he's not been too hard on her, and tells Felix to head to Windy Hills to find the page for a legendary sword to slay Wilfrey. I like how it's at this point where we're almost done with the game where you get a sword. You know, the weapon on the flippin' box. Really big complaint there. Continuing, you kaiju rampage once again to get the 7 pages and save a security operative. Also, oh my god, fuck this level. I hate bottomless pits with silly, weird, tight platforming, especially when the game is kind of clunky. Like, for real, we need a fucking, like, bottomless pit supervisor or some shit. They'll go look at the pit, and because it's a funny, they'll be like, oh, it's not a bottomless pit. That'd be great. That'd be real funny. But yeah, no. It's really stupid because near the end of the level, you have to jump off of these moving platforms that are kind of like windmill things, and each one moves in a different direction, which already like cuts your movement in half. And you need to do that to jump up like 6 of them to get to the ledge. And while that's happening, bats are back! But anywho, you leave the stage and Cricket is there, and he immediately gets his panties in a twist when he sees the Raposa you saved, Unagi. I like Unagi. Now I want some sushi. But apparently the two used to work together, but now due to their egos butting against them, they hate each other now. But yeah, man, in hindsight, there's not a lot of villagers I like. A lot of them are assholes. Especially Isaac. He gives me Pierre vibes. So you and the mayor restore the sword, and he reminisces, asking for a personal favor. He explains that the creator had a special page in the Book of Life for every mayor to write their name down to have authority over the other Raposa. He asks you to check the Rapo Towers and bring the page back. Joey comes in saying how Cricket and Unagi are fighting and Mari won't deal with it, so the mayor asks Joey to bring them to the town hall and for you to get Mari. She refuses, saying she needs time to think, so you head back to the mayor, yelling at Cricket and Unagi to stop bitching and do their jobs and work together. Felix, kinda sick of everybody's shit, heads to the Rapo Towers to get the final page. He saves a doctor and gets the last page. I really like the vibe of this level, the purple hues, the awesome yet foreboding music, and the awesome fucking sword. Okay, the sword's not that awesome. I do wish that the sword had like a slash projectile when you're at full health to kind of like give you that ultimate weapon type feeling like they do in Zelda games, but I digress. Meanwhile, while Felix was adventuring, the game shifts into a cutscene. You see the mayor vibing near the Twilight Wood gates when Wilfrey steps out the shadows. He demands for the Book of Life from the mayor, but he refuses. Wilfrey, getting sick of this shit, claims that the village fell apart under the mayor's watch and will also happen with Mari, and he kills the mayor right then and there, and takes the book, disappearing back into the shadows. Now, I will admit, I told you the sequence out of order if you have been playing along with me, but I really kinda wish the game showed off that cutscene after you completed the stage. It would have been really cool, and I think it would have complemented the music that the level had playing. But, you know, it is what it is. Felix returns with the Dr. Raposa, named Dr. Cure, and her assistants. How ironic. And is escorted to the town hall with Cricket and Unagi. The normal villager rescue music plays, but the mayor is not at the town hall, and no one can find him. You go looking for the mayor, and you find him dead where Wilfrey left him. Joey, following with you, sees this and runs for help. Cricket, Dr. Cure, and Galileo, for some reason, come over while the doctor checks his status. The scene changes to Joey finding Mari at the secret beach and bringing her over. The two come with the rest of the Raposa, and the doctor, ironically named, couldn't cure the mayor and gives up. All the Raposa, except for Mari and Joey, leave, and the mayor's body just disappears. Mari yells at Felix, calling him useless because she feels he should have protected him. With Felix's expression saying it all, honestly. But cutscene happens showing all of the creations you've made throughout the whole village start to disappear, and Felix quickly goes through the secret gate to fight Wilfrey. This leads us to the final level of the game, Shadow Lair. I know that this is the last level of the game, but fuck dude, the music from the last stage playing here just fits perfectly. Like previously I said that the music was foreboding and now cool, but now it has a layer of melancholy to it, you know? Like, a character that you've been hanging out with for most of the game is just gone now. It changes the vibe. There's a certain part of the song that kind of sounds like a eulogy piece. I'm gonna play it here for a sec. I like it. I think it's neat. Now, this is probably the shortest level in the game, excluding the tutorial level, mostly because you're not searching for missing Raposa or missing pages, it's just about getting to the end. But just because it's shorter doesn't mean it's easier. This level only has shadow enemies and reuses some of the drawings you've done up to this point as obstacles, which I think is cool. Like the cloud platform, the inky platform, and the trident to lower the shadow water, and the fading star for disappearing platforms. I did not miss that one. But there's one point at the end of the level where you have to go through 3 consecutive jumps over bottomless pits, but then there's just this one part, there's the one spacing of the last one that is so fucking bad, it is so fucking annoying, because it's an insta-death, which means you have to do the second half of the level over, and I fucking hated that part as a kid, and I hate it now. Fuck it, I'm going in. I'm gonna beat this boss myself. Blue skidoo, we can too.
So, you made it this far? My little scorpion friend will take care of you.
Wilfrey, the coward he is, sends an oversized scorpion to fight you for the first phase, instead of fighting you himself. The scorpion's main attack is rushing you and swiping with its claws, and then retreating to the center of the area, where it then sprays a black mist, causing your cloud platforms to appear towards Wilfrey, where you jump up to get a good swipe at him. I do think that the scorpion part where it's swiping at you is really weird, because the sword does not swing as fast or faster than the scorpion swiping animation to attack you, so you kind of have to do this weird timing to not get hit, and I fucking hated it as a kid. And that is where I would break and cheat, because I remember distinctly being at that phase for like months. Anywho, you repeat this 3 times and then it starts phase 2, with Wilfrey actually attacking it.
Ugh, this has gone on long enough. I'll destroy you myself.
So, to do damage to him this time, you have to wait for him to move away from you, and you swing your sword at him. If you do the timing right, you can actually get a solid, like, 4 to 5 hits off him, doing pretty good damage. You'll notice that when you do this damage, though, it's not a set amount like previously, where it would be like a 1/4 of his health each attack. It's actually based on how many times you hit him. So you have to hit him a lot more than 3 times. I do kind of like this method, because it makes the boss feel different from the other ones, but at the same time, due to how weird those sword swiping speed is, I think it could have been better. But so like I said, Wilfrey will move across the arena and do one of 2 attacks. He'll either throw tridents at you at varying angles, or cause stars to fall down on you like a PK star storm. Ugh.
Ooh, now prepare to die.
But once he gets to like around 1/4 of his health, instead of doing 1 attack and moving away, he'll do 3 of the 2 attacks and then just move way faster, making it harder to get that last hit in. So you kind of end up like, it kind of makes it kind of like an endurance round in a sense. I think that's really neat. And when he runs away, you just have to quickly like spam the jump swipe attack just to get that last hit on him.
Ow, ow, ow!
What? No! This cannot be!
But after dealing the finishing blow, Wilfrey falls over like a Family Guy character and gets consumed by his own darkness, dropping the book, and everything's happy. Yippee! Woohoo, you did it! Come out through the gate to Joey, and he exclaims that all the darkness is gone and goes to meet Mari. You come to town, give Mari the book, she puts the final page in. Mari feels like she's not ready to put her name in the book, and she asks the player to sign their name instead. The game ends and a cutscene starts with the camera following Heather as she talks for the first time in crazy bark speed. It's really cute. Then the scene changes to Zasha getting caught by Cricket finally, but before he gets arrested, a little girl Rappo runs out of the house that Zasha was at to Cricket and stands up for Zasha. Apparently he adopted her after they were both saved by Felix in Twilight Woods. Cricket decides to basically just put Zasha on probation with the little Rappo girl happy. It then cuts again to Indy deciding to go with Pirate Beard and his crew, with Count Choco joining them, and then it cuts again to Dr. Cure harassing Mike about his human ears. Finally, the scene shifts to Mari asking Felix to talk to the villagers, and then to meet her at Secret Beach. But I'm not gonna do that. I've been saving all me money for this exact moment. Let's see the well! If you've been playing along, you'll remember back in the first world that Mari said that she wonders what would happen if you were to drop 10,000 Rappo coins in there. Well, after dropping enough coins in there that could be used to save the homeless, you are taken to Developers Grove, where you can talk to the developers. They each have about like one line of dialogue, nothing important. But I'll show off the one for the lead developer because I liked it a lot. So, heading over to the beach, Mari is talking to Joey about him leaving to go on an adventure and walks him to the dock with Felix following behind. They say their goodbyes, and then a flashback montage happens with music with actual vocals. Like, bro, this blew my mind as a kid because I didn't think the DS could do that. But the vocals are like a bit crushed, but it's still pretty clear that she's singing the main theme, and it sounds really nice. The scene ends with Mari sitting at the beach alone sad, but then Joey comes back. While the music is still playing, the camera pans to Felix and the ghost of the mayor looking back at them and leaving. I take this as Felix ushering the mayor into the afterlife. But yeah, that's the story of Drawn to Life. So now we're gonna talk about my thoughts on some of the gameplay. So, some of the enemies can be annoying to hit, and I wonder if this is due to some of the enemies being tested with unlockable abilities that I just didn't bother unlocking. Some of the things you can draw have like annoying predetermined outlines, or basically buildings that are grayed out for you, kind of like the observatory. And I think it just greatly hinders the creativity. And I noticed this in like vehicles too, or just random set pieces, like I said, like the observatory. But some other things I noticed is when you put the pages into the exit door, the torn pages aren't facing each other, and that just triggers my OCD like so much. But I really like how fluid and expressive the sprite work is, and I carry this sentiment for the whole series. But final thoughts, it's weird. The game has a lot of religious undertones, and that used to stand out to me as a kid. Because back then, religion wasn't something normally associated with video games, and I think it integrates it in a harmless way, but it will be brought up in the sequel in a very out of left field way. But the game as a whole can be considered a little clunky by today's standards, but I don't think the controls are too egregious to the point of not being able to enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's a kid's game from 2007, so I'm not gonna take it that serious. But for what it's worth, I think artists should play the game at least once. It's a good weekend game. I think Drawn to Life is one of those games that really got me into wanting to make my own video games. The appeal of drawing your own character into a video game to save the day is such a cute and amazing feature. I wish more games had it. And I used to think this game wouldn't be popular enough for a sequel, but 2 years later, we got one. And I remember seeing a commercial for it as a kid, and oh boy, this one's a biggie. But for real, I want to thank my friends for actually giving me the drive to finish this project, because this is a video I've been wanting to make for a few years now. I also want to say sorry about the audio quality. I am in the process of looking for a new mic, because I will admit this one sounds like an Xbox headset. But I thank you all for watching and hope to see you soon. This is Pixie Bixie logging off.